So for the past several years, The Chosen has been our primary thing that we talk about here on the channel. And obviously, throughout my whole career as a YouTuber, that's basically been my focus. And that is not for lack of trying with other projects. There are not very many biblical projects that I'm interested in looking at or that have been very good over the last several years. In fact, I would say The Chosen is really the only great one that we've had a chance to really look at. Now, I've been saying for the past few months that 2025 is going to change everything forever. And that is absolutely true. Starting in just a few weeks, we're going to start seeing other biblical shows roll out into reality, and it's going to be amazing. So right here, we're going to look at the top 5 shows, plus a bonus one, that I'm going to be really looking forward to and really diving deep into this year for 2025. So without further ado, let's jump into this first one, which of course everybody on this channel knows, and that is The Chosen. Now, The Chosen, of course, has released a teaser so far for season 5, and we know the release dates for season 5. That's going to be the end of March and to basically the entire month of April for the theatrical release, and then the app release will come a little bit later on, probably summer, I would guess, of 2025. However, this, of course, is our most anticipated project out of everything. If I had to pick one project that I was like, okay, for sure I want to talk about this, it would be The Chosen, of course. It's kind of our bread and butter on the channel. It allows us to really dive deep, and it's made some really compelling, really deep storylines so amazing for us to look into as we jump in here, of course. So The Chosen, of course, season 5 is coming out. That is number 1 on here for our top 5 that we're looking at. Now, let's move forward because The Chosen, while I love it, I am so excited. Like, you guys have no idea. I am so excited for the rest of this year because there are so many other projects that look amazing that I'm really excited to jump into. Secondarily is another one that we've talked about quite a bit, and that is Testament. Testament is a modern day retelling of the book of Acts in kind of an alternate world. So it's kind of like our world with a couple different eras put together, some stuff from the 50s and 60s and 70s, all the way to more modern technologies and different things like that. It's kind of timeless in a way that it's shot, but it's not obviously during the time of Jesus. So it's a different kind of world. Things like the license plates are in Hebrew, for example, or Hebrew and Greek are kind of used throughout this world where it feels more like a UK type environment. It's really interesting, and I'm really excited to dive deep into this to learn more about the project overall, and to be able to teach through the book of Acts using this show is going to be really, really fun. It's going to allow us to kind of get out of the Gospels and go into Acts as a new kind of area of teaching and a new area of discovery when we're talking about these little things. And I love that the showrunners of this show have kind of cultivated a relationship with us here on the channel, and they are starting to put Easter eggs in their videos for us. And so this last few videos that they've put out have been really interesting because there's Easter eggs within them, like a really faint QR code that leads to an invoice, or some of these other small things. In fact, let me show you this real fast because I didn't get to bring this up during our last video with Testament. That is that there was a small QR code on the last video that we didn't catch during the video. Basically, I found it later on, and it was really hard to scan it. And so I had some people reaching out being like, hey, did you see that QR code? I was like, yeah, but I couldn't get it to scan. So this is the QR code. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I love the people that are working on this show. So that QR code showed up for like a second on the video, and it was super faint. A QR code is something that you can scan, and it holds data to send you to a web location or a document or something like that. So it led to this document right here, which talks about Magdala over here in this corner. It also mentions a woman preacher, which I think is probably connected to Mary Magdalene, right, in some way. Now, this is talking about some sort of purple stimulant, which I think is some sort of drug in the world of Testament, and it's really interesting. It also brings up a Nagin nightclub, which I have no context of at all, but it's really interesting. This world is going to be it's going to be very much like Narnia and the Lord of the Rings, where it's a Christian story, but it's veiled underneath an overall different type of story, right? And so it's going to be really interesting for us to dive into because unlike The Chosen, they could hide things in their show that allow us to really deep dive and really take a lot of time to go into this and to seek out these different things in a way that The Chosen probably couldn't. And so I'm really, really, really excited for Testament. That's our second one there. Now, if we move on to our third one, this, of course, is a show that I'm actually in the first season, and I was able to participate with the production during different sections of it as they filmed. Of course, we went through all the behind the scenes, and we checked out the pilot of this. This is the Promised Land series. Imagine if The Office or Parks and Rec decided that it was going to be mixed with Exodus and Moses. That's what this show is. This show is going to be absolutely amazing. And I had my doubts a little bit at first of like, how is this show going to work? Is it really going to be high quality? But now that I've seen, first of all, the pilot, which I loved, and I've shown it to all of my friends and they all love it as well, not only because of that, but also because I was able to be on set and see how the team worked and interact with a lot of the people, such as the social media team or Mitch himself, who is kind of running through these different things and running the show. Mitch Hudson, if you don't know, works on The Chosen as the second AD, and now he is the director and writer of this show here, which is, I just think it's going to be so funny, but not in an irreverent way, not in a way that is going to bring you outside of the Bible, but rather bring you into it and drag you in and say, did this really happen in the Bible? That's really interesting. I wonder how that happened. Is this accurate? You know? And there's a lot of things in this show that are accurate, that are being used in a new way of storytelling in order to really engage you in the Bible, which I love so, so, so much. Now, moving on from Promised Land series, I will say there are a few projects that I'm excited for, and there are a few projects that maybe I'm not super crazy excited for, but I couldn't leave off this list because this is such a massive project that it is basically the largest crowd-funded biblical project ever, and it actually passed The Chosen's original crowdfunding numbers a while ago, like over a year ago, and that is the David movie. If you've seen this, this is kind of a demo video of what the David movie is going to be. This came out in 2022. However, the movie is finally supposed to release in 2025. They've done a few different things. Angel Studios is working on this behind the scenes with a studio from South Africa, I believe. But this is obviously a movie about David and how he kind of grows up in his life. It's focused on David there. This is a movie, so it's not a show, but there's a lot of people that have worked on this, that worked on things like Prince of Egypt or different things in the past. They were Disney Pixar animators. They were really high-level people. And so this has a huge budget, like a massive budget, huge crowdfunding numbers, and a lot of people that are excited for this one. This, I could not leave off the list because it is really going to be, I think, one of the biggest, definitely biggest animated projects, I think, of 2025. Maybe barring The Chosen Adventures, I think this is definitely going to be the biggest animated biblical movie of the year. Not that there's not many of them, but this is huge. And it's been in kind of the lineup for a really, really long time. Again, animated movies are not my biggest thing, but for sure we're going to be taking a look at the David movie. For sure we're going to be deep diving into it and talking about it there. However, that is not where the David stories stop. There is another project that's working on a David story as well, but it's not animated. It is a live action project, and that is The House of David. Here's a shot of a young David with his sling, I'm sure either running towards a lion or a bear or Goliath himself. This one is looking really good. The cast that they have for this one is very high level. The budget that they have for this one is very high level. And this is a series. This is not a movie. This is a TV show. So just like The Chosen, we're getting season 1 of The House of David this season. So we're going to be introduced to characters like Saul and Goliath and David and Samuel. Like there's so many interesting people that are going to be in this show. It's going to be, I really, really, really hope this is going to be great. The best part about this show in particular is that this show comes out in February. So we're not even that far away. We're a little over a month away, like about a month and a half away. This comes out late February, so February 27th, I believe. This one looks really great. The budget looks great. The costuming looks great. And if you want to learn more about House of David, I'm going to do a separate video this week talking just about our first looks of it. We've got a bunch of different pictures. We have a bunch of different articles that we're going to look through in terms of what we're to be expecting from House of David. I might even try to reach out to some of the people that are working on this to see if we can get an interview or some more insight into what is going on with this project, because this is going to be one of our first major projects of the year. And man, I am really excited for this one. I hope it's good. I hope it's accurate. The people that are working on it are great, though, because it is people that we can trust. They're people that are connected to, Dallas Jenkins and some of the other people in the industry that are really trustworthy. So it's not just a random person making this Christian show, but rather it is John Irwin, who, of course, was part of Kingdom Story Company. And he did things like Jesus Revolution with Jonathan Rumi, right? I think I Can Only Imagine was done by them. I think there's a bunch of stuff that Kingdom Story Company has been a part of, including the best Christmas pageant ever that Dallas Jenkins just did, his Christmas movie there. Really, really great stuff. So I'm hoping, and from what I've seen so far, it looks like it could be really, really great. I hope that this is amazing. That's my hope. That's my hope for sure. So that is our fifth one there. Now I have a couple other bonuses, we'll say, okay? This is the first bonus here. This is a project that I was introduced to very recently, which is why it's a bonus one here. This is number 6. This one is Light of the World. And so this one is basically a movie from the perspective of John the Apostle, who you're seeing right there, and how he follows Jesus and how all these different things happen throughout the book of John. So you can imagine Nicodemus is going to be in this. You can imagine all the stuff that is are going to be in the book of John specifically kind of goes into that there. And so this one looks really, really good. I think it has some animators from Prince of Egypt and some things like that, but that's kind of the style that they're going for. It's more of a Prince of Egypt style, very 2D animation, very unlike the David movie, right? Completely different kind of things there. But this looks really, really good as well. Like I said, this is called Light of the World. And they reached out to me a few weeks ago in order to get my thoughts on the project. And I overwhelmingly said, hey, this looks really, really good. And you can even see on this video, actually you can't see, but I'll let you know, on this video on YouTube, the trailer for it, this teaser trailer has 1 million views, which is very rare. Like, even for The Chosen, sometimes numbers like that are not possible. Even for some of these bigger things that we're looking at, those numbers are pretty crazy. So to see something like this have that many views on YouTube is a really, really, really good sign. Now, last but not least, let me bring up this trailer for The Chosen Adventures. Quite interesting as well, because this is their first foray into a new show outside of The Chosen overall. Now, they've done different things within The Chosen sphere, but this has been in production for a while behind the scenes. The kind of main person, the showrunner for this, is Ryan, who writes for The Chosen. He's one of the main 3 writers for The Chosen. And Ryan is doing an amazing job on this so far. There's a bunch of different voice actors, a bunch of new characters that they're adding in, and of course, all of it is kind of 3D-ish animated. It's definitely a kid's show, so it's not something that I'm extremely interested in, but we may do a whole series on this with my wife because she is going to love this show. I know. She just loves watching kids shows like this. So definitely, I think this is a big thing that could be happening for next year. I'm really excited to see how well this goes for them, as obviously this is going to kind of lean into what we could see from other projects as well from The Chosen and how well they're going to be received. So yeah, we'll see. Overall, that is my 7, I guess, my 7 top projects that are going to come out in 2025. Remember, this is a huge deal. Why? Because last year we had 1 project, and now that's multiplied to 7 projects. And for the most part, these aren't things that are like looking for a money grab. They're not looking to be successful because they want to get rich. They're looking to be successful so that they can spread the gospel. And I can say that about the majority of these projects, if not all of them. The people who are making them really just want to spread the gospel and tell people that Jesus loves them and that he is there for them, right? So let's go through them one more time before we close out. First off, The Chosen, of course. Next up is Testament. You can just go find them on YouTube, Testament series on YouTube. Then we've got the Promised Land series. Again, you can look that up, the Promised Land. Really amazing series there. Then we've got the David movie right here. I'm sure you've seen this trailer, or if you haven't, you can go check that out on YouTube as well. The David movie on YouTube. Then we've got the House of David, which we don't have a trailer for or anything else yet, but hopefully soon. Then finally, we've got The Chosen Adventures, which looks really, really interesting. Hopefully you guys agree. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. What is your favorite upcoming biblical project in 2025? I would love to hear your thoughts. And of course, we'll see you guys on the next one.